ideas, values, a common set of principles that make us Americans. My grandfather, as you probably know, came to this country, came from Italy, brought my dad. I've made the argument, and he made the argument to me, that when he came to this country, the first day he was here, because he left Mussolini's Italy, was a top-down, oppressive, fascist regime. He came to this country because he believed, he wanted to come to a country that believed in him. He wanted to come to a country that would allow him to be free, to work, reap the fruits of his labor, raise his family, teach them the faith that was central to his life. He came here because America represented something. And he knew that when he came here, from the day he was there, he was an American. Why? Because he accepted what America is. That beacon of hope. That common set of values that says we have a rights from God. Not any God. That's what our founders believed. This rights came from the Judeo-Christian God, from the God of Western civilization that built Western civilization. We mark our time from the birth of this man, Jesus Christ. We don't even realize, most people who go through our lives don't even realize how much of our society is based on these tenets and teachings. And we understand here in America that these rights, the dignity of every human life. Do you think other cultures hold up every human life, men and women, as equal? Let me assure you, they do not. Children and parents, children and adults as equal? They do not. We have the dignity of all human life. Equality? These are unique concepts that are American, based on our roots of having those rights from the Creator God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's what America is. Do we have people who have different ideas? Yes. Are they allowed in the public squares to make their arguments? Absolutely. James Madison talked about how America is a great country because everybody can come into the public square, make their case, have it out, and then we form a consensus. And we can get along. If you think about what our Constitution is about, what our country is about, and what a government is, it's how people who are diverse are able to come together and be one. Not necessarily agree on every issue, but agree that we can work things out and we can go on together, even though there may be disagreements. And so there is, and I think this is a legitimate point, and I think I made this earlier, there is a real choice that has developed over time. I would agree with you that there are many in this country today who don't buy this argument that we are an exceptional country because we are based on these founding principles, that we need a new model. They have every right to come into the public square and make that claim. They have every right to try to change America. I would make the argument that Barack Obama is one of those people. That he wants to fund, when he said New Hampshire, hope and change, he meant it. Change. He meant change. Barack Obama was asked whether he believes in American exceptionalism. And he answered the question as follows. I believe in American exceptionalism like the Greeks believe in Greek exceptionalism and the British believe in British exceptionalism. So, there really isn't anything different, except I just happen to be an American and I sort of, love my own country. It's like rooting for the Steelers. Sorry. All right. They're out there, they're just quiet because you guys are not nice to us. Particularly on the field lately. Anyway, that's another story. But that's the difference. Right? There is a difference between a a worldview that America is nothing special. In fact, it's broken and has been, as this president has basically said. If you read his speech in Kansas, he talks about how, this individualism and this way the economy functions just doesn't work anymore, if it ever did. So we're talking about fundamental differences. Do you have a right, does anybody have a right who has a different view of who we are, and what America should be? Go for it. But I think what a president should do is actually lay out the vision, that common vision, and try to explain why that is important for the future of our country. Because with that common vision of free people, limited government, rights to each and every one of you, directly from God, that the government cannot crush, cannot intervene. That's a pretty good model that's worked for a long time. When we say, maybe some of those rights go to the government. Maybe some of those rights are collective. And that we can, in fact, and do, in fact, sort of limit what rights. Because we want to make sure you're secure. We want to make sure that you're taken care of. It's a trade-off. People believe that. They have a right to. But I don't think that's necessarily that we, as conservatives, are best at advocating. I think we're advocating for a country that transforms the world. I always remind people at the time of 1776, the average life expectancy in America was 35, as it was at the time of Jesus Christ. We were an agrarian society, as it was at the time of Jesus Christ. Oh, a little bit more sophistication in our agrarian society, but we were an agrarian society. And then America had, freedom had, individual freedom had. And we built this incredible country. And life expectancy is now close to 80. We went through an industrial and technology revolution. The poorest person in America today, from the standpoint of creature comforts, is wealthier than the wealthiest person 50 years ago, not even 100 years ago. 98% of Americans have cell phones. Think about just the advancement in quality of life, all because we believe in you. That's your choice.